Welcome to Club Muddy. Before we get things started with Brittany and Ashley, my buddy Gregory Haubrich is here with some exciting news. You were on a few days ago to talk to Ashley about the Casting Crowns concert, which had to be rescheduled for some very sad reasons. And you can talk a little bit about that, but also, but you do now have a rescheduled date.
We do have a rescheduled date. It was awesome that they came up with one right away. So the matter is that, or I guess the circumstances, I should say, of it are that Mark Hall, who is the lead singer, the main writer and all that for Casting Crowns, he had been with his dad a lot recently. His dad had a long battle with dementia, and they've been pretty open about that. Thankfully, he was there a couple days ago when his dad passed. He was able to be off tour. They had 4 dates scheduled for this week, wrapping up in Quincy this Saturday night. And they canceled all their dates this week because of his father's passing.
Very understandable.
Yeah, definitely. And it's been really encouraging to see that people get that people aren't frustrated about it, aren't upset about it. And Casting Crowns being such an incredible group, they came back within a couple hours to offer us some dates. They said, we don't cancel concerts, we postpone them.
Good.
If we're going to do a concert, we're going to come and do it. So one of the dates they offered was Good Friday, March 29th. And as you look at the dates, you think, there's pluses and minuses on all dates.
Sure.
It is a Friday night. It's Easter weekend. In Nashville, Chris Tomlin has a very big concert every Good Friday night with a bunch of the top artists, and it's really a big event. So we thought for Casting Crowns to come to Quincy on a Friday night, on Good Friday, and have some awesome worship on Easter weekend is just going to be incredible. So we chose that date, and we're really looking forward to them coming.
I think that's a fantastic way to again to kick off Easter weekend. Of course, right there is you have Holy Week leading up to it, and of course Good Friday. I get where maybe somebody would, but no, I think it's a great way to again to begin what's a great weekend of worship.
Right. So we're really looking forward to it. It's awesome that they can make it up that quickly. The concert was sold out for this Saturday night. So all of those tickets are good for the upcoming concert. We've got folks, of course, who can't attend on March 29th. So as those tickets come back into our inventory, they are offered immediately for resale on our website.
Okay.
So people could just go there, click through. We had so many people still wanting tickets for the last concert. So what we're going to do as well is sometime next week, we're going to open up a whole new set of tickets because we went over, Bob Daly and I went over last week and physically counted every chair at Quincy Junior High School, Morrison Theater, to see what are we working with here, because
I got Kathy Dooley's cell phone number. That would have saved you guys a lot of work.
I don't know. It didn't seem like anybody had an exact count, so we got it down to the seat. There are some chairs there that you can't use, so we took them out. And when you're dealing with a concert, you've got the soundboard and then the seats behind them, all that to look at. But we've got another group of tickets that we're looking forward to offering up, putting on our site next week, and we'll let everybody know about that.
Okay.
The other thing we're doing real quick, Bob, if I can tell you about this, we're doing messages for Mark. So it's messages to Mark Hall if they are prayers, if they are condolences, if maybe it's just telling him about their music or how much a song meant. We're wanting to really encourage him right now, and we've gotten a whole lot of them so far. Everybody can text, and if I can give out the text number or email, 217-223-7700 is the text number. The email is themix@wgca.org. On Monday, I'll send all of these to Mark and just let him know how loved he is and how much we're looking forward to them getting to Quincy on March 29th.
Well, losing a parent, it never hurts to be, lifted by prayer, but when you lose a parent, that's certainly a time where you need it. That's for sure.
I've not experienced it, but as I said on the air the other day when we got the news, go find your parents and let them know you love them.
Absolutely. So again, we'll have the link at the bottom of the website too, so you can under this, so you can take a look at it. So thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
All right,
Appreciate it.
I'll be back with Ashley and Brittany and the rest of Club Muddy right after this. A&B Properties is Quincy's largest apartment rental company with hundreds of units available. They offer short-term and long-term rentals with 1 up to 4 bedroom apartments. A&B Properties meets the needs of its tenants with care, compassion, and a quality of service that exceeds expectations. A&B Properties also has a convenient tenant app for you to do your payments or make repair requests. Give them a call today. A&B Properties, 217-919-8080, Quincy.
The Liquor Booth is your home for a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits. The Liquor Booth has 2 locations in Quincy, 3520 Broadway and 1500 North 12th Street. The Liquor Booth, where it's always happy hour.
Do we now that we start on the 3 best friends, though? Yeah, again.
Sure. Yeah, I have to restart it again. Oh. So he's done with her phone. Okay,
yeah.
Good Lord, woman.
Huh?
It's a good Lord, woman.
Good Lord, woman.
You guys have straws. I don't.
Do you want one?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
It makes it go down faster.
You're missing out.
I'm good.
Somebody once told me that if you drink beer out of a straw, that it...
You get drunker
Makes you
faster?
drunk
I've
faster.
heard that too.
Yeah, I think it's
I mean, wouldn't it just be because it's going in your mouth faster?
Possibly.
I would think so.
I don't know. I think I use a straw because I'm orally fixated and always have been, which is wild.
And you don't want
To
to
think about.
cut your lip on the glass or something?
No, because I hate ice when you're trying to drink around something and you're like
that.
trying to get that. That is wrong with it.
Oh, I hate that noise.
yeah, the mouth
too.
noises. Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
why I try to not.
Try not to slurp
Mm-hmm.
on the mic anymore. So, how you doing?
Well, I mean, how could we be doing bad? We're sitting around this table talking to one another, which is pretty badass.
I'm blushing. That's awfully sweet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, life is good, right?
Yeah, unless you're a judge who lost their job last Friday. Life's great.
You know, I thought about that quite a bit. I think he had a good run. It sucks that it ended up like this for him, but we all make choices. We all make our beds, and we have to lay in it, right?
He dropped the hammer of justice on Bleefnick and could have ridden off in the sunset.
Yeah.
But no. That would have been the way to go out. But
Yeah, but if
he had a point to prove.
Well, if he stuck to his guns morally, if he stuck to his values in the way that holds true to himself, then he made the right decision for himself, and he should make no apologies.
Oh, he won't.
Yeah.
So,
But I mean, I know a lot of people aren't happy with him, but such is life. You can't please everybody all the time, and if you try, you're going to end up screwed anyway, I think. Not saying he was right or wrong. I don't have a dog in that fight, but
I mean, when you read the entirety of the commission's report, yeah, he erred more. He erred more than once. It was not just his decision to change his mind on guilty, not guilty on the Clinton kid, but it was just the whole totality of everything in it. So,
Did you see the national news behind it?
I was just about to ask that. Made him look like a real big schwaz.
It really did. 2 things that I noticed with that. He said, well, one of the things that he said was he was not guilty because something along the lines of her not being able to consent because she was intoxicated. Like, I remember hearing that, and I don't quote me on the words exactly, but it was the very first interview, and he said something along the lines where she wasn't able to consent because of intoxication. It's like, no, in Illinois, she was not able to consent because her age was 16. Like, end of story.
Right. Well,
But-
I mean, and if you can't consent, if I am in a state of mind that I can't say no, that's automatically a no.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Oh, yeah, that should be that too. But
pretty cut and dry.
under the law, it doesn't, I mean, she's 16.
Yeah.
She can't consent.
Right.
End of story. And, like, you're still, that made him look kind of, like you said.
Schwazzy.
And then she said in her interview, in regards to there was no non-for-profit behind her. I believe Quinata is a huge non-for-profit.
Quinata certainly supported her.
And
no
they
question
supported
about it.
her. So, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yes, you would. Good for you for going out there on your own, but I'm not sure.
She knew she had backing.
Yeah.
It may not have been financially, but she knew she had backing.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
He kept saying that this certain non-for-profit used her, and I don't know if he was like referring to Quinata
There
or
was a
something
belief
else?
that it was a larger scale, a larger organization than Quinata, and that was never proven. And I did some calls and some checking, and from everything I found out, it was just the folks at Quinata and a lot of local people who supported her.
They supported her, though.
Total right
so
to do
that was one thing that, like, when she's like, there was nobody behind.
That's
I'm like,
their mission.
Yeah.
So we have to expect that. However, are we all blind enough, right in today's society to realize that there are certain agendas that are at play here? And this is like one of those things that's, we're gonna use you to prove a point, right? We're gonna use this case, and I don't know. Again, I don't know facts, or I don't know my head from a hole in the wall when it comes to this stuff. But thinking about it for my daughter, like if this is my daughter, I'm gonna fight tooth and nail, right? I don't care who's behind me. Thinking about it from Judge Adrian, or former Judge Adrian's perspective, if I'm making a decision based on my right, my morals, my values, and I stand behind those, then I think everybody has done what they think is best, and everybody just has to deal with the consequences. That's kind of how I see it.
And I see, part of being a judge is temperament and temperance and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So there's been some questions there for sure over the last few months. But then finally, the last thing that they threw out on the Capitol Facts statewide newsletter was, should he lose his pension? I don't think he should lose his pension, because the pension is something he's put into. It's something that he's earned over the years, and we have a lot of other politicians who've been actually convicted of crimes
Right.
who are still cashing their checks.
And I think if you really want to get to, there's a way to do this it's not by the book, but if you want to create, a new evolution of rules, you would look at his career, and you would look at, the times that he's quote unquote screwed up, and do a percentage and take that amount of pension away and give him the rest and be done with it.
But again, it's
money earned already, though, is
It
how I
is.
look
Yeah,
at it.
it
Like,
is.
it's money earned, and you shouldn't take away money already earned from somebody, like a mistake. We were talking about this last on Coffee Talk about how different people are held at different levels, especially like when your pension is a tax-paid entity.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I agree with that. I don't think you should go after somebody's hard-earned money that they've already earned, or forego all that over a mistake.
Yeah.
Then
I mean,
then nobody's going to want to do these jobs.
Right.
No.
Well, and he's
Including Quincy Fire Department, including
Yeah.
Quincy Police Department, including Quincy
referees,
Public Schools.
But it goes both ways. So you have to kind of look at it. And I think that there's a law behind everything, but there's also common sense behind things. And yeah, like you said, he's lost his job. He's paid the piper, I think.
Yeah.
She's gotten, it may not have ended perfectly for her, but I think she got, kind of what she wanted out of the deal,
my
right?
conversation with her was she believes this will help her find closure.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
And that's what she needs.
Yeah. So I think we don't need to keep, chasing him with torches.
Yeah.
And I think that the best thing for her and for everybody involved would be to drop it, let it play out how it may, and move on to the next thing that's going to upset the apple cart around Quincy and everywhere else, because there is bound and determined to be one, right?
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
always
yeah.
something new that people
Yeah.
can get, behind and kind of stir the pot and create, awareness about. So
Yeah, no question about it. And that was obviously something that we've been following. It was one of the first. That report of when the judge took that action was one of the first big stories that David really worked on here, because that was pretty much within the first year of our existence as we approach year number 3 coming up here in the end of April. So. But yeah, and just the whole trials and tribulations of following the whole thing. And again, when we have a story that we think is closed, something always seems to turn up. But I think this one is finally we can put all this to bed, and then again worry on the next thing. I'm sure we've got some trials coming up that are going to be very interesting, and then we've got, of course, it's an election year. And we got a presidential election going on, and we've got a lot of there's some local races going on, and we are now exactly we're 1 year away from our mayoral primary
Yeah.
in Quincy. So, yeah, again, there's a reason we're here, and there's a reason we do this stuff, because the news always happens.
Yep.
And some other exciting news I wanted to kind of share with some folks is the fact that our family is expanding. No, neither one of these ladies is pregnant.
Whoa, I
But,
was like, whoa, who here? What do we got?
I was like, what?
No, we are hiring a young man to come assist us. His name is Shane Halsey. He
pretty badass.
He hails from Wentzville, Missouri. He's currently doing some TV work down in Cape Girardeau, but he was a Quincy University student through their communications department. And he's going to come again, help us out with some news and some sports and some production work. So he's going to be here in April. So we couldn't do this without the support of our advertisers and our viewers and readers and such. So we want to thank you guys for making it possible for us to grow. And again, we've every time somebody asks if you thought, do you think you would be here at this point in time? I always say no. I always thought this is something to be 5, 6, 7 years down the road. But again, as we approach our 3rd birthday, we're adding another full-time person. And again, Matt, busts his tail doing sports, and David busts his tail doing news and sports lately, and Steve, all the people we've had chip in do stuff. It's like, okay, let's get some help. And again, having a guy who's a little younger doesn't hurt as well. So
Yeah. Either way, we're fortunate to be able to grow our family and continue providing things that, whether people want to hear it or not, they really want to hear it. Mm-hmm. It's like we talk about it all the time. Like news is necessary, even if it's a necessary evil sometimes, depending on what side you're on. If you're kind of the villain in our story, then you hate us, but you'll eventually be the hero. So just hold tight.
Yeah.
It always seems to come full circle, especially in a small community like Quincy. You may be the bad guy one day, but the next day you're the good guy. So, yeah.
Well,
Never a dull moment.
He was here earlier this week, and then of course I had help at his final interview with a couple of people who helped.
His grilling.
I said, hey, I'm coming to lunch with you.
Yeah, and then I totally dropped it.
And
but
he was, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, I know I wasn't invited, but I think I should join.
It was good though. No, it was, again, I think he got a real sense of this is
who we are.
This is a different outfit, and but it's still, again, I think we work hard, we play hard, and I think we try to I think we do good work here, and I think he respects that. And again, he wanted to do some sports and wasn't getting to do as much sports as he liked at his current job. So this is going to be a real chance for him to give Matt a big helping hand, and then he'll also pitch in for us on some stuff on the side. Yeah. So welcome, Shane.
Yeah,
we'll
welcome,
see you.
Shane.
We'll see you in a few weeks, and we got to get his office ready and all that stuff, and so.
Yeah.
But,
very exciting. Exciting stuff.
It's
Yeah, I'm
news.
glad
So-
that he decided to come on board. It's definitely, it's been a whirlwind, since I came on, and I love, every minute of it. I think when I came on, I was like, oh boy, what am I getting myself into? But it's been just so much fun. And every time somebody asks me how many jobs I have, I'm like, too many, but I have one favorite one, and it's Muddy River News. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys.
You wanted to play a game today.
I did.
Okay. We're
50
in.
questions, 20
50
questions?
questions? No, I have like a couple.
All right.
But normally we have a guest, and we decided that we need to round up every once in a while, round up the news, and we don't get a chance to just talk or get to know each other in front of the viewer, I
Right.
guess. I mean, I know you guys pretty well. But there are some questions that I guess I have that maybe I don't know about you that will put you on the spot.
Yay. I love these
It
things.
will not get you in any trouble. I
I
don't
just
think
said,
it'll
I said, just don't get me divorced.
That's
Well, you just have to be thoughtful of your answer.
yeah.
Because
Well,
if you've learned anything, there's a way to spin it.
and I totally was
Yeah.
about prefacing these questions.
I
and
said
saying-
no. I
No.
said no.
And prizes
just
are
go
good.
cold turkey. Just
So
fire.
Love it.
instead of interviewing a guest, I feel like let's interview each other. I asked you to come up with some questions too, so I'm hoping that yours don't make my armpits sweat any more than they already are sweating.
Yeah, but that's what makes good news, so I hope so.
But you're
No.
going to be first. You asked the first question.
Okay, my very first question
To whom?
to both of you.
Oh,
okay. So
same
who wants to
question.
answer first? I guess because actually, I'll ask the question.
I was going to say, let's ask the question first because I may defer to Bob first, but no, it's okay. Go ahead.
Death.
Uh-huh.
I'm always dark.
No, I love it
Death.
because it pulls me out of my comfort zone.
Are you scared to die?
No. I'll take that
And
one.
then why?
I'm not scared to die, and it's not because of any religion or I mean, I think I've lived a really full life. So even if my story is just blank after today, right? I think I've fulfilled a lot of stuff. Two things I'm scared of that are associated with death. One, leaving my kids too early, right? That's my fear. It's not necessarily dying. And two, the way that I die. So I don't ever want to be a burden to someone or have it long and drawn out in a way that makes people like, I mean, I want to get smoked. A bus, you know, if I'm on my way out, just snuff me out, right? So what's funny about this question, and Luke could attest to this, I just ordered a book that's called I'm Dead, Now What? Because I'm very kind of black and white about it. I'm dead, but I want people to be prepared. So I think that's why I'm not scared. I'm going to be prepared, and if it happens tomorrow, hopefully it's quick. So
I'm dead, now what? I'm gonna look that one up. That sounds interesting. I'm dead, now what?
I am not scared of death because I do believe there's a better place out there. I believe that while I am far, far, far from perfect and I have many faults, I believe at some point my ledger, I think, is more on the plus than the minus. And I think I'm going to sit down for my day of reckoning, and there are going to be a lot of people like me who are that way. It's like, oh, yeah, you're not perfect, you're not a saint, but you're all right. Come on in. So I really think that's how it's going to shake out. I have a very positive outlook about that. And, I mean, again, and especially this time of year, Lent is always a time I do sort of take seriously, and with extra mass and prayer and all that kind of stuff. So, so this is a good time to actually ask that question because, we're coming up on a time where many of us recognize, our Savior dying and making his sacrifices. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm not scared of it either.
You? Can we ask you the same question?
Sure.
Okay.
No, I'm not scared of death. I used to say, this sounds horrible, I used to think that I was looking forward to it. Like it was something like where that is just the long slumber or sleep. Because not out of like depression, but mostly because of just being tired sometimes.
Tired
where
of the
you're
hamster
like,
wheel.
Where you're like, okay, I'm good for that long sleep. But no, and I would like to believe that there's more. I really do want to believe that there's more because, I'm only human and death is scary.
Final.
But I do kind of believe that we're dirt.
Yeah.
But then after we're
Ashes
dirt.
to ashes, dust to dust.
Yeah.
We're dirt, but then the dirt makes something new maybe.
Yeah. New life. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's the weird thing about death is that through religion and through the long slumber, it does sound very appealing. And I think it's kind of marketed that way, that it's like, look, enjoy your life, but don't be scared because you're either going to go to your eternal resting place, through your beliefs in your religion, or, reincarnation or a long slumber, or it's just going to cut out. And after days like, the last few months or even years, people are like, I'm ready. You're like, right? It's like people are exhausted anymore. So it's almost
I'm tired, boss.
Right? And it's almost like before it was something to be scared of because people wanted to live this super long life, and now you get to a point where you're like, you know what? There's a lot I haven't experienced, but there's a lot I have, and I don't know that I have so much energy that I ever want to live forever.
Yeah. I like how like a lot of people when they hear a certain age they're like, oh God, I don't want to have to.
Yeah, no. I don't want to be a burden, and I definitely don't want to be incapacitated.
Okay, so this brings me, I guess, to my next question real quick. These are really deep questions.
Yeah, I love it.
Sorry, maybe I may or may not have, made it so that I could really think outside the box when I was thinking these questions.
Yeah, that's all right. I love them. Go.
What are you here for? So a little on a more positive note, not so death. Like, what are you here for?
I've been in and out of news a few times over the years, and I always get pulled back in by whatever reason. So I think I'm here to do this. I think I'm here to be a good dad and husband. But I think my job and my purpose in life is to let people know what's going on and to kind of give people a sense of community and what's happening in their community. Good, bad, and ugly. I think that's the one thing that we all forget about is everybody wants to just be, bunnies and rainbows, and it's not always bunnies and rainbows. Sometimes you got to report on stuff that nobody likes to hear, and you got to be that guy. I was talking to somebody last night and said, story you had one time that, it really pissed me off, but I got over it. And he said, because I said I had somebody tell me a long time ago, early in this business, look, if you're in this business, you're going to have to go interview that guy or gal again soon. The same two teams play tomorrow. So if you've had a major issue, get over it, talk it out, talk it through, especially if it's somebody who you have to deal with on a regular basis. It is what it is. And you just got to face it and move on, agree to disagree, and both of you do your jobs.
Yeah, so absolutely. I agree. Well, I would say that's a really good question. I didn't ask to be born.
I love that part. I love that part.
Okay, so it wasn't until recently that I started thinking about what is kind of my why, what is my purpose. I have gone through certain jobs that kind of felt like I was chasing this unattainable thing. And, it's kind of like, am I living to work? Am I working to live? Am I doing a good job as a wife and a mother and a daughter? And what am I here? And I've asked this question a lot to myself. And I call it midlife crisis, call it, just kind of almost a reckoning of seeing what's going on in the world and trying to, tend my garden, which we talk about a lot. I think overall, my purpose is to continue trying to figure that out. I may not have all the answers today, but I know today that when I see something wrong in the world, I know that I can play a part in fixing it here, right? So I don't agree with everything that goes on in all of our systems, technology, schools, but I also know that I'm a very small piece of that. So even if I don't agree with it, I can't waste my precious time trying to fight all of the demons, but I can do it in a way that's very personal to me, which is, raising my daughters to know who the F they are so that they can continue, working towards trying to find what fulfills them and not be so concerned with money or other people's thoughts of them or just so many outside influences, which are everywhere. So I think maybe my purpose today, which is going to continually evolve, is, just realize that I'm a small piece of the puzzle, but even, regardless of how small I am, I can still impact things in my own little garden. And right now, today, that is my family and my friends. So you always say that I try to be positive. That's one way I try to do that.
I like that.
Yeah. And it's not always easy, but I do try to, in this shithole of a dumpster fire that seems to be everywhere, realize that it's not all like that. And I can control that, I can control that burn within my small little garden. So that's my purpose today.
What's your purpose?
I literally thought of these questions without my own answers. Like when I was doing it, I was like, man, I'm feeling good right now.
Yeah.
I want to know this about these guys.
I love it.
So,
I love it.
Honestly, I don't know my purpose. I think that's a lot of sometimes my dilemma at times. But I do think that I have realized recently that I do serve, like I'm doing this here at Muddy River News for the purpose of my love of the community. We talked about this yesterday. I may or may not have made a slight mistake, but I mean, I'm human. I do that. My purpose is also to make people uncomfortable. Yes. I found that early on in life. And the one huge thing that I really do appreciate about this place is it allows me to make people uncomfortable. I know that sounds really awful to say, but we're different. We are different, and we get to ask things, and I get to pose questions, and I get to have a platform that, even though what we were talking about earlier with Adrian, yes, we are held accountable on a different level, but at the same time, we're accountable on a different level because we're a different source of news. We're locally owned. We are sitting around a table right now giving our opinions. This is a different news.
And having cocktails.
It's a different news. And I think this is my purpose. And if you like me here, whether you like me here or you don't, I don't know. Like this is, I think it's my purpose.
Well, and I think a big part of the news, which you do really, really well, and the rest of Muddy River News does well, is accountability. And I think when you force people to look in the mirror, it may make them uncomfortable. And I don't think that's always a bad thing, because you might set them on a different journey that kind of rights their own wrongs. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So,
and I'm learning,
kudos
and
to
thank you for letting me learn.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know.
No problem.
Yeah.
It's grad school.
Yeah. Hopefully I don't get us sued.
Yeah. No, I love it.
Well, you know, that we could all, that could happen.
It's a
all in
byproduct.
So.
Yeah.
All right, my turn to ask.
Yep.
Okay.
What's your biggest regret in life?
My biggest regret. I think maybe that's a good question.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not a huge regret, but it's something that you can never take back, is the fact that I loved where I went to school. You know, I loved QU. I had intentions on going to Maryville University in St. Louis. I had intentions of just getting out of Quincy and experiencing something outside of Quincy. I know now that realistically, like looking in on it, I'm like, I'm never leaving Quincy. Like my family is here.
Right.
My business is here. Everything's here. So I guess my one regret in life would have been that one time that, because I know I would have came back. I can't leave my mom and dad.
Yeah,
I can't.
right.
I know I would have been back. So my one regret, I guess, would have been not going to school somewhere else. I would have stayed, you know, like 2 years locally. That's a smart way to go, I think, personally.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I
We
did.
love John Wood.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and
Amen.
I love QU too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did all 4 years there. They kind of enticed me with a good, you know, scholarship. So you go where the money is, and yeah, I guess that would have been my one regret.
Yeah. I think mine is a little, it's kind of broad, I think, but so I was just talking to Brittany outside that one of my biggest downfalls is people pleasing, codependency, right? Like the optimism is a great thing, but it also stems from being a people pleaser, and you're trying to keep the peace. And I think throughout my life, I've been in positions where, you know, school, work, I've been in positions where I should have said something, but I didn't because I wanted to keep the peace or have people like me. And I think, you know, my regret would be I should have probably acted on my own, you know, my own behalf a little bit more. Not saying that it got me, I mean, I got where I am because of things. So I don't necessarily have regrets on certain actions, but teaching myself how to be comfortable in my own skin and backing myself in kind of the way that you guys do. With no apologies, so that I can pass that down to my girls and not make them feel like they need to fit in or soften themselves. But I'm working on that, and I don't think it's I don't think it's really been, you know, detrimental to my life. But I do think that had I spoken up or, you know, been a little bit louder in certain areas of my life or certain aspects of my career and school life, or even in social arenas, it probably would have behooved me. So I think that would be something that I would warn my kids against.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Um,
Hiring you two.
Yeah, right? I was like, you created this monster. Yeah.
No, it's not that at all. My brother and I did not have the greatest relationship at one time, and it was, you know, he had his life and I had mine, and you know, we kind of got together with my mom and dad's, you know, a couple 3 times a year or whatever, but we weren't extremely close, so we were working on that. But we had some issues where we each made some, we were brothers. We said stupid shit to each other, and we made bad decisions to each other, and we each thought, you know, I was always the big brother, and you know, so I was the know-it-all and I was the whatever, and he did not like that at all. And but it was getting better. We in August of 16, you know, we had a big Perry had its sesquicentennial, and we were all there at home. The whole family was there, and it was great. We had a great time and everything. And you know, we were getting back on the way to patching that up, I thought. And then a month later, he was killed in a car wreck. And that night, you know, I got that phone call from my dad, And that was, I was just like, my dad's not going to, obviously I knew it was true and whatever. And then I was in Quincy, and then I just said, zip, I got to go to Perry because everybody's going to be at mom and dad's house. And I was devastated. And all I could think about was, thank God our last conversation was good, uplifting, all that stuff. And I truly believe we would have figured things out. But then again, we were brothers. I got pissed off at each other again, and who knows. But yeah, that was. I wish we had patched that up earlier. I wish we'd have been working on that earlier. And because again, that was everybody has these instances where it's like, hey, you don't know. I've had friends the last few weeks who've had parents die suddenly, and it's like, yeah, you don't know. You don't know when that last day is. So try never to have that conversation make sure the last conversation you've ever had with someone is a good one, because you don't know when it's going to be their last one.
Right.
We talk about I'm not afraid of dying, but boy, I'm sure afraid of somebody else I love dying, and then me having to say, oh man, we had this big ass fight, and now they're dead. So that's my biggest regret is I should have been the bigger brother, the bigger person, and tried to get that fixed a little earlier. So
I think that's
Hey, you want to play this damn game?
Hey, I think that's really important because unspoken words, I think, are often a lot of people's regrets, whether it's death or finality of relationships, and sometimes vulnerability helps you kind of. You being vulnerable probably helped a lot of people in this moment. Hopefully, that I think that's probably what you.
Well, like my Ellen always says, why don't you ever cry? I'm like, I cry sometimes. I just don't let you know about it. Well, you should let me know. You should do that. I'm like, but yeah, no, that was she was of course amazing during that entire period. So okay, your turn to ask a question.
So rolling from that, if you could, would you rewind? Would you rewind your life and start anew? And if you could, would you hope to be in the same place that you are today, even changing some certain things?
No.
No.
I believe in the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
If you change one thing, then you have messed the whole thing up. And if you haven't seen that movie, then or not
but
not just the movie. Obviously, that's a theory, but I firmly do kind of believe
time
in that.
travelers, all of it. Yeah.
Avengers Endgame, sure, absolutely.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, Infinity War, all that stuff.
But yeah,
no change, no rewind.
I wish there are other things that I could have changed too, on a personal level, like that. There are things that I really wish I would have done differently, but then no,
who knows,
because butterfly effect, I might not be here right now.
Right.
Yeah, you always wish you could have done something differently at certain points, and shouldn't have done that, whatever. But still, anything that would have jeopardized this, anything that would have, all of my potholes, forks in the road, whatever, led to this.
Yeah.
And anything that would have jeopardized what this is becoming, anything that would have jeopardized my wife, anything that would have made my kids not be here. Any like you said, butterfly effect. One thing you don't do. I decide not to go work at KHQA. And coming out of college, I go work for that TV station in El Paso, Texas. I went to. Maybe I'm living in Juarez drinking tequila or something. Instead, I'm not drinking tequila at Spring Street. So, So I'm perfectly. I have no regrets. I have no. No Uncle Rico. Oh, I could throw the football over that mountain. I could play in the NFL. No, nothing. I'm great.
Yeah.
So. You?
Yeah, no, I don't think I would. Well, I would rewind to see it all again just because I don't remember a lot of it. I think that would be really cool just to kind of be, up here watching things happen again and just be like, don't do that. But at the same time, do it because things would change.
Watch your own home movie.
Wouldn't that be so
that
neat?
Would be kind of neat.
I wish that
maybe that's heaven.
With all the technology to if somebody could just replay my life so I can relive some of the best and even some of the worst, because you wouldn't have the best without the worst, I think. But Luke and I always talk about, I had a job offer in Alabama that basically was like, write your own ticket, however much money it'll take to bring you here. And I've never left Quincy. So you were talking about that. But if I would have left and gone to that job, I never would have reconnected with Luke. I never would have had my girls. So big things, big, great, amazing things happened because I didn't do that. So I don't think I would rewind for any other reason than just to relive it, because I do think there was some pretty badass times.
And if you go back to that, like say, it's like the movie Animal House, you got the angel on the one shoulder telling you one thing and the devil going something else, something else. So, you know, it's, I'm no regrets.
Yeah.
No regrets.
No regrets.
No
yeah.
I love that one.
Yeah.
So,
My last question.
Okay.
What's your snack that you're eating while you're watching your life movie?
Ooh. Okay, so I just tried the new freeze-dried candy store, and
Is it
they're dude, my mouth was so eaten up for days because I was eating like
It's so
freeze-dried Skittles.
addicting.
It is so good, so good. That and white cheddar popcorn.
White. Yeah.
Yeah.
fresh popcorn with lots of butter.
From
Yeah.
like the movies.
No, from my house, from
your
like
microwave?
an old. No, not
a
even
kettle?
microwave. In a kettle. Damn right.
Dang,
Yeah, oil.
son.
We've actually still got one of those old poppers that spins and you put the butter in. Oh yeah.
I would say some. I don't know. Yeah, like you said, I like the white cheddar popcorn, but yeah, I'll get it from that Poppin' on Main because I'm not trying to get my house smelling like.
Burnt popcorn.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what
That's
it would
what
smell
mine
like
would too.
if
Yeah,
I
can't
was
even do.
making it.
I can't even do the bag popcorn right because it
Me
says like
either.
a minute and a half, but I feel like it's like a minute and 10 seconds.
That stuff's nasty. I
Yeah.
want it fresh
Whoever
popped.
made the popcorn button on the microwave.
Wrong. Fired.
Be gone.
One
Oh,
job.
yeah,
You had one
that
job to
thing
do.
never worked.
No.
Never
if we need to
works.
bring back like the Jiffy Pop that's in the metal thing that was like.
I feel like that's what he has.
They
No,
still
no,
make
no,
it?
no, no. It's
No, it's
you
like
take
the popcorn
you take the
machine.
popcorn, you pour it in the doohickey, and it heats up at the base, and
Very
it's got a little
official.
thing that spins
Sounds
around.
So primitive.
It is primitive, but it still works.
That's why it works.
Sometimes the old things,
Oh.
are the old ways are the best
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah.
So.
Amen.
Well, all right. I hope you enjoyed this little retrospective as we all kind of did a little self-reflection here, and that was a good idea.
That was a great idea. I have so many more
Con-
questions. So if we're ever at a loss,
Content
We can
Yeah.
do it.
creator.
We can do it
If
again.
we're ever at a loss, I have
some
so
point
many
down the road.
questions.
So,
Yeah.
but anyway, everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.